Okay, everyone, hi, how's everyone doing this Monday? Of course, of course it's Monday, right? So it's not really a good thing for us since it's Monday. But yeah, here we are, drawing again. The thing about it is that we're going to continue. You can see that we are already doing some, some works. Now we're already having some ideas behind everything. The illustration is getting crazy, but of course, those are the illustrations. They are going to be very tricky and very difficult to draw. And of course, the background is going to really hurt my eyes as I'm going to draw it. Yeah. Oh boy. So what we are going to do for the illustration is going to be, I guess, just whatever we would do normally, which is literally just, proceeding to draw further as it goes. Yeah. A change here, change there, Hi Joksai, good to have you here. How are you hoping it's going? Have you been? So now we are going to draw Kool-Aid. Or Coolsif, whatever. I think I've made his name Coolsif instead of Kool-Aid because it's been, it's a brand name, so. Hope you're doing well, I'll be lurking. Alrighty. That's absolutely perfect. And yeah, I'm personally doing fine. I'm personally doing bad, you know, great. Just kinda wait to finish the illustration. I have this thing, like, I really want to see what I'm drawing right now, like, in finished form. And that kinda pushes me to keep on going with very long to make illustrations. When I lose the interest, this is it for the illustration. Hi T, glad to be here. How your brain has gone? Hi Amir, glad to be here. How your brain has gone? I haven't seen you, Amir, in a long while. How have you been, buddy? I've been good, just focusing on college. I see. Yeah, that's something that awaits me too. Starting college in the next month, and I just, you know. The worst thing is like calculating things, because like I need to calculate how to quickly pay off my college. Also, those horns are so messed up. Possibly the worst thing is going to be driving for the exams, because like every now and then I have to, you know, take a day off and actually attend exams. But I am lucky to learn on weekend school with online classes. And yeah, today I'm going to a bit more silent. I don't really know what to, where to go with it. I've came back from, from work, and that was my entire day. Like this is the worst thing, because like my work is taking away my entire day, so I can't really do much. Like besides trying to be a bit active on Discord. Oh, actually, so I'm playing the Pokemon Pocket, right? Pokemon trading card game Pocket. So basically, I'm just mostly playing it to collect cards. I don't play like any like online matches or anything like that. I just collect cards there. So I'm almost done now with the Triumphant Light, because I've got the entire Genetic Apex, the Celebi, I think it was like Enchanted Forest or something like that. And now I finished the Dialga and Palkia one. When it comes to the sets, and now I'm moving on to the Arceus one, the Triumphant Light. And after that we are going to have the shiny thingy. So I have two around 70 cards sets to collect from, but damn, finding Garchomp was the worst thing to do. Like I found so many cards there that were supposed to be having like worse chances to be found than this goddamn Garchomp. Hi Talid, glad to be here. How are you hoping it's going? Welcome back. How have you been, buddy? I haven't seen in a while. I'm good. How about you? Doing good, doing good. Sneezing. I'm sneezing, my guy. So yeah. I finished Coolidge. Hey, let's go. Let's go. I can spell and cry. It's okay. It's okay. If you can't tell, I dropped English literature. Oh wait, you dropped out of the college? I thought you finished it. I mean like the subject. Oh, okay. It's alright. Like, not that many people are really into studying English literature. Not that many people are actually into studying literature at all. Not only English ones. So that's okay. I think that usually schools are making things difficult. And they tend to make people a bit burned out from things. Like, when I was younger, I loved reading books. But the thing is that we don't like to be forced to things. So if you are forced to constantly read books, and those books are things you don't want to read, like books that you wouldn't just go and pick from library or just go and buy, you don't want to read them. And when you are forced to do something that you loved, because you are forced to like things that you don't want to, it's literally going to affect you liking the subject. So like if I, for example, like drawing and I'm going to be forced a lot to doing things that I don't like, I might feel burned out. Don't think I would ever drop it, but I would just feel dropped out. I would really feel burned out. The thing is that it's very difficult to get me to draw things I don't like, because I generally just like drawing. And I'm constantly like expanding the circle of things I like to draw. So I don't know. I really enjoyed even drawing like logo designs and stuff. I really enjoy making the character designs. I really enjoy making the websites, right? I just like those things. But there are people who might think that they are going to go on graphic design and they are just going to draw things that they want, but unfortunately it's school and they are going to teach you graphic design, and it's not drawing what you want. It's preparing you to draw things that you are going to draw while working as a graphic designer. So logo designs, like, you know, like box designs, etc. It's you know, that's the thing. Also, I remember that someone was trying to order an artwork. Like, like during the school, like it was a student of an art academy in Poland. And he basically got into the art academy and he literally tried to order artwork for his assignment from someone else, right? And the thing is that, like, you know, I understand like being burned out, and a lot of teachers are also going to understand it, but you're like placing yourself on a burned spot if you are going to try to hire someone else to do your bidding, you know? And like, I know that recently it's been happening a lot among graphic designers. Like, graphic designer can earn a lot, right? And we are speaking about like a lot, like 10,000 PLN to 12,000 PLN, right? At least here in Poland, right? But it's still, you know, a lot of money also in other countries. So basically they can allow themselves to go on the internet and hire someone to make the thing for them. That's it, and that's how they are operating a lot of the times. They are just getting people, they're just outsourcing someone to do their bidding. And I think this is very unfair to the client, because if they are like hiring you, they want you to work on the stuff, not in the you know, not some guy on the from the internet, because they would do the same thing if they would do the same thing if they would know. It's like, you know, funny. Also, the sheer fact that a lot of like graphic designers, etc., are going on things like Fiverr, and they are just, you know, making like several accounts, and along with coworkers, they're creating like a freaking mafia around there just to block people from receiving the commissions. That's also a very scammy tactic, but this is how it works. That's why I don't use Fiverr. Fiverr used to be a good place, but just because they are not doing anything about those people, it's just, you know, killing the community there. So like, just because Fiverr is not doing anything, they are killing the website. A lot of people are now moving to Vision because you need to be verified there. Like, you know, people need to be visible. Oh my. So yeah. Hi Star, glad to have you here. How are you? Hope how's it going? By the way, folks, I'm soon going to do the request drawing streams, sketches. So yeah, I might be sick. Oh no, how sick we are talking about? Finally. What finally? Like, you're finally sick, or? I love being sick, it happens so rarely. Really? Damn. Like, I have a love-hate relationship with catching a cold. Because like, I have different severities of those. Hey, just got back from school. Hey, hi Cultural, good to have you here. How are you? How's it going? Nice, nice. So I have different like severities of my colds. Sometimes I just get a small fever, sometimes with some cough, and sometimes I'm just like annihilated to the bone, you know what I mean? Like I just can't do anything. Like Infinite Soup, Sleeping in Love, or... Nah, for me it's like the fact that everyone just don't bother me with stupid stuff. And No school, yeah. What are you working on? So basically, I think you weren't around yet when we were doing this project. For the past half year, I've been working on 20 original characters in high fantasy universe. I've called this my artistic universe. And just recently I gave it a name, and the name is Gilded Shards. So it's Gilded Shards project now, and basically we're making a first illustration from it. So basically all the characters, all the OCs are grouped into their own teams. This is the first team out of 6. This team is called Team Broken Light. All the details about the universe you can find in right now on the Discord. I'm still writing some of the backstories. And yeah, that's that. The thing is that I want to create an artistic universe that also viewers will be able to, you know, do some works on, maybe make a game, write stories, draw illustrations about. It's very kind of like open sourced project, so to say. So like, you know, I'm allowing people to use my designs for their thing, right? It's, you know, I love soup and veggies you don't understand, and I can have as much as I can when I'm sick. Aww. I think I'm going to sleep because I'm really tired. Sorry for not staying longer. It's okay, Star, it's okay. I'm glad I could guest you today. Sleep well. And, well, since you really like it, well, I hope you have the cold. Bye-bye. Ma. Yeah. So yeah, basically the Gilded Shards is like, it's a high fantasy universe where out of nowhere dungeons popped up in random places, and they're like resetting, they can change where they are, right? So it's like infinite, it's always like an infinite amount of gold income, but there are taxations on that. People started working as adventurers to go around the dungeons. They learn how they operate, they can make maps for them. The dungeons are always looking the same if they are in the same spot, but they can change the spot, so you never know if the dungeon after the reset is still there, right? And there are like some other systems, like for example, people calculate when the dungeon resets. They can calculate, you know, the routes, how to go, or that they can try to predict where the dungeon is going to spawn again, just to like fast travel between, you know, places. So there's like a lot of thinking about it too. So yeah, it's kind of like, you know, like a personal project that I really wanted to do, and here we are, you know, finally doing something about it. Yeah. To be fair, so actually, what are the plans for this week? You can see that in this week we have those sketching streams, and as I've mentioned on weekend, I think it was like yesterday, I'm planning on making like fan arts. The thing is that all of you can actually request characters from me. So like if you want me to draw a certain character from a game or anime that you really like, or like any other series, as long as you're aware that I'm going to draw it in my anime style, I'm willing to draw it, even VTubers, right? So they're going to be drawn as sketches, because I think this is the fastest idea to draw them. I'm going to post them on sites like DeviantArt, Pinterest, Pixiv, Twitter, Blue Sky, etc. You know, just to like give you, I don't know, maybe a better idea, a better grip where to look for those things, right? Depends what you're using the most. And so I could hold it somewhere, because at times actually Discord is getting a stroke and it's difficult to find things. I believe that with stuff like Pinterest or DeviantArt or Pixiv, you'll be able to actually like even segregate them, like everything on your own needs, instead of like, you know, looking through Discord later on. So I'm also planning to move the entire like project, like Gilded Shards project there too. I know that Vision is allowing you to make like your own OCs, and this thing like, oh, there we go. So I am aware that Vision allows you to make your own OCs. It's like, you know, it's kind of like a dollhouse. There is a website called Dollhouse where you can actually, which is like a forum for men, for people, for like, how's it called? For your OCs. You can create universes there, like make OCs, exchange with among people. It's pretty active, and you can actually make your website there, or like, you know, your own profile into like a website where you can just hold everything. I have an account on Dollhouse, but I'm not really using it. I don't think if I actually still remember my, you know, my profile details to access it, but yeah. So it's like, you know, so I think I prefer going to Vision instead of Dollhouse, because at least, you know, I know on what account I should log in for Vision. Oh my. Okay. And now this. Okay. And it's going like that. Okay. And there's a rock like this. This is the most difficult thing because, like, when you are drawing characters moving, everything is kind of like changing, shifting, you know? And actually, I think this is too small. So now I need to erase all that crap. Yeah, that's more like it. Yep. And his stomach. The more difficult part is going to be like trying to color it, find where the colors are supposed to be. So it's good to kind of keep in mind where something is. Like, what is your exact idea for the illustration and stuff? Wait, okay. He has normal hands, but just a bit thicker. Gotcha. I have no idea what's happening outside, but I hear people throwing something out of their windows. Okay, just a normal Monday, I guess. on this hand. That's also something to, you know, that kind of always bamboozles me. Like, oh, where this thing supposed to be, right? Okay, and that's going to be Azura's hand here. Yep. And we are now moving on to drawing Azura, actually. Oh boy, that's crazy how this illustration is coming along now. The illustration is getting more and more full. It's getting definitely more and more full. To be fair with Azura, I think we might be almost done with like major chunk of it. Later on we might just try to add some additional stuff, like, I know, trying to add ceiling like somewhere here, you know, showing that there's some more depth into the thing. I can try to do that already, like now. So that's like a ceiling, there's a wall, right? There are going to be beams here. There's going to be Azura, but Azura is not going to have her hat, so that's something to remember, right? Because Azura left her hat here. This is another aspect, like drawing a character without such a huge item, right? And trying to fit it into the, you know, the concept. I'm wondering if actually drawing things like this is going to matter in an illustration. Like, the thing is that she's drunk, right? So she's going to have, like, you know, some stiffness to her moves and stuff. Maybe like one eye closed. A little bit like this. And she's like flushed. That and that. Perfect. We don't. The ideal thing is that we don't really need to draw the entire character because a lot of it can be hidden behind, right? Like this is the main aspect of doing illustrations. Don't get yourself into too much detail, because if you do, you are going to spend a long time doing those details, you know? Like, if I would have to sit down and draw the entire character like this, it would be really difficult to get around with finishing the illustration quickly. Of course, unless it's not requested by your client, for example, or something like that. You know, or there's no other option. Like, because here's the thing, like a lot of chunks here are still covered by here by the hat, here by the chair, right? So basically just the placement of everything is blocking the view, right? She's like far away, so of course there's going to be something in a way, unless it's like very open field. Now these are going to be some difficult hairs. I don't even remember where I've got them from. Like also trying to add some wobbliness over time, you know, to her moves. Like you can see that she's kind of trying to figure out how to move. So it's not like, it's like, for one, she doesn't know how to dance, and two, she's kind of drunk to the point where she is having difficulties to move, right? Like that's the stiffness for the drunk characters at this point. Yeah. I was kind of wondering if she's like flat-chested like typically, or she just have smaller breasts, but she just have smaller breasts. And that's that. We are done with the... We're done with another character. Just the golden belt that she has. Yep. I think I know why Reno is not drawing like full illustrations to such extent. It's going to take a really long time to finish it. Like I see how many strings I've already poured into this sketch, right? Hi Exo, glad to have you here. How are you? Hoping it's going? Haven't seen a while, buddy. How have you been? Hello, hello. I'm great, actually. Got to hear, got to hear. The wake is feeling kind of breezy. Yep, it does. For me too. It's definitely colder. I'm sitting with open window, but I'm now having to put on some pajamas. But what have you been up to? So actually we finished the 20 OCs I was drawing. We have all 20 OCs. And I'm now making first illustration from them for the very first team that we've done. Oh, yeah. Nice. Yep. So yeah, I'm just, you know, genuinely happy that, you know, this is where we got down to. You know, just finally doing the illustration was, it's a huge goal for me, because I was doing all those, 20 UCs for like what, 6 months. So it is a really huge achievement. I've decided not to go with the lamp here. To be fair, while watching some Tuna's artworks, I've noticed that he's also, for long stuff like this, he's also using line tool. And I think during his Colossal tutorial, he mentions that actually his hands are really shaky. So that's like, that's like me. Yeah. And what you've been up to? Excellent. My art journey has been something. I soon realized that maybe being an art baby isn't what it's cut out to be. That's why I've decided to take on the big, beautiful building block anatomy. Yeah. Yeah. That's really a huge step. I can tell you some tricks if you want. Hopefully it would help you a little bit. Yes, please. So basically, if you look closer to how I've exactly, what would be much appreciated. So basically, look how I've planned out my characters, right? There are like some spheres, cylinders, basically very simple shapes. The thing is that this is the best building block for everything. Anatomy is crucial, but you can learn anatomy along the way. Huge step above it all is to actually how to construct your character with simple shapes. I've talked about this several times during my streams. The thing is that I can't really stretch enough how actually this matters. So for example, we have character like this, right? These are like character. This is a character Verena from my other project Necronomica. This is Asgriel, and this is Lilith. What is very specific about it? This. Right? So now, why is this so important? You can see that basically this is anatomically correct, right? All the bends and stuff. That's why I'm saying that you can learn anatomy as you go. But this is a human skeleton, but simplified to rectangles, circles, right? Some like trapezius or other simple shapes. This is why it's very, this is what really helps a lot. Because it's not only for this. No, it's not only for humans. You can actually draw anything with it. With this specific method. You want to draw a can of soda? What is a can of soda? It's a 3D shape, right? It's a cylinder. Right? It's a cylinder. Same goes for like drawing like other more complex shapes, right? Like for example, if I would want to draw like chess piece of a horse. Circle, circle, rectangle. Rectangle, or rather rectangle, and now like if you connect it later on, it forms the shape you want, right? This is very specific tool for sketching, because if you learn how to look at an object and deconstruct it into the simple shape, that means you comprehend the object to 100% of human capability, because you know how this object is built. You'll be able to rotate it within your head, if you have imagination, of course. You'll be able to rotate it within your head to the point that you'll be able to draw it from any angle, right? That's why, for example, why I know how to draw all those characters in so many like different positions, etc., even though I've never really drew those characters from all the directions, right? Just to refresh your mind. This is Arya, right? This is Arya. This is all I have as a reference. And this is Arya. I don't have her from that view. Same for Kool-Aid, right? I don't have his back. I just know how it looks like because I know how to rotate this object. And same for Nathaniel, right? I just know how he looks like based on my reference sheets, because one, yes, they are my OCs and I can dictate how they are looking like. But actually I can rotate them around because I can rotate them in that 3D space. I have a Fantasia, so it's much more difficult for me. That's why I'm still at some points I'm still drawing those you know, those puppets, right? Those simple shapes. And a lot of very experienced artists also are doing them. There's a building block for everything. So I do recommend looking a bit into that since you are starting. And of course you can still learn you can learn that while learning anatomy. Because you can look at the human skeleton and decompose it into those simple shapes. And basically everything around is just going to be, you know, it's just going to be slightly alterated. Like some things are going to be easier, some things are going to be more difficult. It's all going to be depending on what you are going to actually do, what you are going for. Anatomy is going to be the most problematic one because that's the most composed shape. So yeah. Also you can keep in mind shapes like, well, what also is to keep in mind, you want to remember that every artist is doing their own simplifications. Yeah, exactly. All those squares make a circle. Yeah. So basically, at first I recommend learning some basics, right? Like some poses, characters that are going to be in more 2D plane, not going into stuff like foreshortening, which is like, for example, what I have here, like this arm is, you know, going smaller, so it's like making the illusion that the arm is going far away, right? Like here. Because then you are entering 3D shapes. It's best to start from 2D shapes and then jump into 3D shapes. Of course, it's much more easier to jump from 2D shapes to 3D shapes when you already nail placements and everything when it comes to the 2D space, right? Because later on you can even support yourself with tools, like you can get Blender, you can just build your characters with Blender with the basic shapes like that, and you can also kind of try to rotate certain objects, like, oh, I'm drawing this arm, I'm using cylinders for my arms and I don't know how to place this 3D shape in the space. So you are getting the blender, you rotate the cylinder in the way you think it's supposed to go, you compare it to your artwork, make adjustments, and you know how the cylinder is supposed to go, how much it's going to shorten, how it's going to like distort when it's going to go, you know, further away from you. And I know it might be like a huge info dump, but this is like the huge step to get from like absolute beginner to level 2 or even level 3 artist, right? Because you can say like there are levels, like 10 is max, right? 10 is like, you know, most likely everything. You can just draw a lot of things from your memory, like you don't need much help, right? You just look up some items that you never drew before, you try to upgrade yourself as it goes, yada yada yada. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I can say that I'm like around level 5-6 for your reference, and I was stuck at level 3 for a really long time. So don't worry if you're not at a certain point you are not going to see much progress, because this curve is very specific. So you start like this, there's a jump, and then it's just barely any change. So this is like where you enter that level where you are going for. Like, you stop being a beginner and you learn anatomy, construction, and everything. I think your stats are maxed. Oh my, thank you. But there's still a lot of work in front of me. Like, I don't really draw much animals, I don't really draw much backgrounds, right? So I kind of suck at those. I'm really good at drawing characters. And like, just freely drawing any kind of character, like, sure, it's already high enough, but that's like level 5. At level 3-4, you're picking your focus. You spend a lot of time on that. I've picked personally character design, and so I've spent a lot of time on that. I've jumped my levels to level 5, 5-6, and now I'm learning backgrounds, doing animals, intros, right? Like making up my own races for like fantasy artworks. I've learned some like realism tricks, etc. So this is like very it might really seem like it's a lot. It might seem like it's like I'm info dumping right now, but trust me, it's like very simple to comprehend. It's exactly how you've put it. A box, squares, circles, ovals, ingrained that into my mind, got it. Like that's exactly it. It's all just about the simple shapes, and then 3D shapes. And I can tell you that most likely you'll max it up really quickly. Also, I'm thinking about making things out of simple shapes for my backgrounds and actually incorporating some of the Clip Studio Paint things. Don't worry, I'm taking notes so I remember this and work around it. Good. I believe in you. I believe you can do this. I'm kind of trying to figure out if I need something else here. Because over there's supposed to be like stacks of hay, but I don't think if I want the stacks of hay. Maybe? Maybe like a one huge stack here. It's going to disappear behind her. I bought mechanical pencils because I heard they're easier to use. Yes, they are. Most likely they are, well, more ergonomic than normal pencils. I've actually got a huge indentation in my middle finger from holding up a normal pencil, so yeah, I've moved, and I'm now way too much used to the, you know, that hexagonal shape that pencils have. You know, it's a how to say this, it's always the kind of the same thing. But yeah, the mechanical ones are much more comprehensive and easier to use, that's true. And most likely there's a bit more of a cost saving there. With mechanical pencils, you don't need to buy pencils. And if you go higher with stuff, you would want to buy more expensive things, right? Like, oh, I'm using those pencils, but those pencils seem like weird. There's something wrong with them, and you're checking pencils from like Faber-Castell, Kohinoor. Personally, I'm so like you choose between two camps, right? Like either you go to Kohinoor or Faber-Castell. Kohinoor is like Czechian thing, and Faber-Castell is German. For me, Kohinoor was like was like cheaper, but it was still higher quality. I've really liked their mechanical pencil. It's like exactly as if you would hold the perfect size of a pencil. It's metal, so it's weighted, and it's using thicker lead. And well, you can think that thicker lead will mean that it's more expensive. No, apparently not. It's just as much. And the only thing that will get more expensive is going to be higher quality graphite, right? Because you're like using graphite or lead thing inside. So yeah, like that's it. And for the mechanical pencil, I've paid like 12 PLN. And now I'm paying, and recently I've bought like 5 sets of the LEDs, and it costed me like 1 PLN. And I'm not even done with them right now. I've went down with like 1 packet and that's it. Like I still have 4 or 3 maybe. They are still laying around. I'm still using it, like I'm using it on everyday basis, even for writing. It's that good. So yeah, like when it comes to the traditional, well, to be fair, with time you are going to notice that you're spending a lot of money on traditional art because it's costly over time. Like I've spent a really long time on traditional art and I've calculated how much I've spent, and actually the amount I've spent on traditional art supplies and sketchbooks and stuff, it's horrendous. So I've moved on to digital. At times you can think that it's more expensive to use digital. But yeah, thanks a lot. This is super kind and helpful of you. It's okay, Exo. It's okay. If you would want to if you need ever like any advice or anything, just, you know, hit me up. Ask me, you know, even if I'm like talking about some random thing, not art related, just, you know, you can also just send a message in the chat asking about the thing, and I'm just really happy to, you know, answer. And that's like for everyone, right? Like I'm really open to give art advices. This is art channel, right? Like what else I would do if not give the art if not giving like art advices when people are asking me about them. Like actually same for motion, right? So like if you want to show the motion that the ball is rolling, you can do something like that, but it's not necessarily a motion that you want, because it's going to look like the ball is moving like that, but it's floating. Like this, most likely. My prince has returned. Hi Skylar, good to have you here. How are you? Hope it's going. Actually, I've been always streaming. I think YouTube might have hid my streams from you. So yeah, that is like going to show that the ball is like, you know, rotating, because like those lines are simulating those lines. I am. Oh my. Good to see you again, no less. I'm really glad to have you all, have you all back. YouTube recently has done a thing. I think I've shown this on, I've talked about this on Discord too. So basically, it's hiding people it's hiding content creators from people. It's like a protection from something, I don't remember now, but it's like an option that you can turn on and off. And god, that is irritating. A lot of people, really a lot of people, lost so many viewers over time. Like there's Stanley MOV, right? He made a video where he is saying that, hey, I think it's goodbye, right? I think that's it. And it's sad because I know that most likely he started losing viewers for a couple of factors. Most likely, first of all, the YouTube changes. Really, most likely because of those. Like, I think 75 to 80% of what people he lost was caused by the YouTube changes. And another thing was like things he had to work with, like his like meme react channel and stuff. The problem is that his like community started posting memes that are very unfunny. Because like, well, the people he has on Discord are not the most of people he has on his YouTube channel. So those people from Discord are posting memes, but they are unfunny. So that majority of people from his channel are running because of like, just things stopped being funny. That's it. But seriously, it's scary. PewDiePie, I think, also lost a lot of people. Jacksepticeye, I've noticed, has less people. Markiplier has less people. This is like... I don't know even how to really explain this. It's just sad. It's just sad because you see that people who actually were doing a lot for their communities, being on YouTube for over a decade, they are punished. They are punished for 1, being old channels, 2, not making brain rot content, 3, not making brain rot thumbnails. Like, of course, there are like, oh, but you have to make good thumbnail to bring in people's attention. Like, no. That's the thing. No. Because people are entering YouTube, they are clicking on a video or a stream, and that's it. The problem is with sub-factors of it. People need those flashy colors. People need, like, I don't know, Subway Surfers gameplay running in the corner of the video to get their attention. It's all because the sheer problem with attention span that is arising because of short-term content. And not only that, I can tell you something. I can tell you that the fact that because of that short-term content, a lot of people are not finishing their games, they are not finishing their books, they are not finishing their drawings. It's because they need that that quick dopamine. That's why a lot of people are running back to TikTok or YouTube Shorts or Reels or whatever. This is the only reason. And you can see that a lot of people don't have that much attention span because they are coming in on streams and they don't want to watch streams. No, because they are too long. They are coming in, they are sitting for like 5 minutes or a minute or 2 minutes. They are leaving, they are watching some reels, TikToks, they are coming back to the stream, watching another 5-10 minutes, they are all leaving again. And they like losing the concept of like how to hold onto the content, right? I think what is happening right now with internet is really problematic when it comes to that. Also, I'm sorry that I'm not, that I'm not drawing anymore. Like, the general idea I've had for today's stream was to finish this illustration, basically. I mean, like, the sketch. So I've reached my goal, and you know that's that basically. But the thing is that it starts to be more problematic over time, because you can see things shifting, you can see things changing. And it's, well, the thing is that I'm planning on getting the entire, like, you know, the entire illustration streamed, but then I'm just going to come in, cut the video, make it a speed paint, maybe with some, like, you know, some notes from during editing, etc., like what I was thinking during the process. Like, I think this might be good, this might be interesting. You don't really see speed paints anymore, but I've seen people requesting it on my streams, so I want to try to come back to it. Another thing I want to try is like recording some tutorials, but it's going to be difficult. I was thinking about, like, oh, I'm going to make stream, I'm going to sit down, plan out the video, make the video during the stream, right? But then again, it's like, I can't just stream and ignore chat. I have this issue, you know? I have this problem that I can't just sit down and ignore my chat. I know that a lot of people are doing this. They are recording their stuff and they are not really talking to the chat. They are ignoring it. But that's like I don't think it's good. You know? I don't think it's good. I think it's hurting. True, yeah. Also, I'm curious. Yeah? When did you find your passion for art? Oh my. It's very difficult to really point it out. I was always very passionate about art. I've always wanted to be an artist as a job. So basically I've been drawing ever since I remember. Like, ever since I was capable to hold something in my hand, I was just drawing. But I was like starting with stickmans and stuff, like I was 2, 3, I was drawing stickmans, etc. When I was 6, I started drawing more like full characters. I was trying to draw characters from Dragon Ball. Of course, like, I was 6, so they weren't really as good. When I was 12, I started drawing. I've got my first graphic tablet. When I was 14, I started making commissions and started drawing every single day for at least 15 minutes. Um, so I'm 25 now and almost 26. Like I've got a freaking birthday in January, for God's sake. I have to say, like, the concept of everything is like very weird, you know? The concept of everything is very weird. I guess I've got really passionate when I was like 8 or 7. When I was 7, I've got like, you know, I met a lady at a con like even on Saturday. She was an illustrator, by the way. Oh, that's nice. And she basically said the same thing. She'd been drawing at a young age. Yeah. So, but like, basically for me, well, it was very easy for me to get into art because my family didn't really have like PCs or consoles or anything like that. We've got some like knockoff Nintendo that usually my brother was playing. We've got first PC that my older siblings were playing, so like my brother and sister. Glitchy boy! Hi, thank you for coming, and thank you for subscribing. Welcome to the family. So yeah, like the general concept is that me being the youngest from my siblings, right? I've been always like pushed away from things like PC, consoles and stuff. And I was finding my like pleasure time, my hobby within art, like drawing, reading books, etc. So I was like, despite me being like very closed in, I was more like a shut-in for my entire life. Actually I started like leaving my house a bit more only because I was going to school and now I'm going to work, but if I actually don't have to, if I don't have a reason, I prefer to stay at home. So being like a shut-in, I was usually like going to drawing, and yeah. Also by reading books, I've learned how to write stories. I also really like that. I've started writing stories when I was like 11, 12 because I really liked the books. School kind of like destroyed my liking for them. Like that I can say that school actually made me not want to read, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's that. Another problem is, so like, yeah, when I finally got my first laptop, right, I could like do stuff. I've started like getting into pixel art. I was like around 12, 13 where I've got my first laptop, right? Because like I've got my laptop and really quickly I've got the graphic tablet, so it was like, you know, one after another. And I started drawing this way. I've got also into pixel art, and to be fair, I've learned like a lot of stuff, and I had no idea that actually things that I'm learning are going to really help me a long way. Because like, you know, aphantasia and stuff, right? So because I was reading books and I've learned how to write stories and descriptions and stuff, I've learned how to create ideas within my head without possibility to actually see things, like without an imagination and so on. But also it held like that plus pixel art plus just generally story writing, dialogue writing, and stuff that really helped like created for me a set to make indie games. So like that's more or less like the entire pipeline how I've actually got around. But yeah, like you can, so basically you can start drawing whenever you want, right? It's not like restricted to you to draw only at a specific age. You don't have to be very young to be really good at art. Look at PewDiePie. PewDiePie is much older than me. I think he's like over 30, if not around 40. And yeah, he started drawing just about that, and he got really good at it. The thing is to know your own brain. The key is to learn how you learn the quickest. The thing is that art is it requires theory and practice, right? So you need to find a way for your brain to memorize all the things and get the muscle memory of those things, right? So it's like, you know, one longer pipeline. So no matter how old are you, if you are young or older, you can just learn how to draw no matter what. I mean, you know, younger brains are absorbing informations quickly, right? But it doesn't mean that you won't be able to learn. There's something I really love about artist stories, which I just love. Yours is cool and relatable. I see. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's very, you know, it's very difficult for me to like point things out. Also, like I don't really have good memory, but I know just some like things what made me an artist, I guess. So yeah, I'm really glad it's like, you know, at least it can be found cool. So we are done with the illustration. When it comes to the sketch, damn, that'll be that'll be something. Alrighty, folks. I guess I'm going to say my goodbyes. It's been a pleasure. Really, it's been a pleasure to sit here with all of you. That's why thanks Joxxing, Amir, Khalid, Star, Keltro, EXO, and Skylar for being active chat on YouTube. As always, folks, stay creative, and I hope to see you all in the next one. Take care.